Here's a question, a consideration. What if you could decide exactly how you want your life to look? Well, my next guest believes in part you can, and she says that realizing you can is the first step to actually doing it. So to help us decide a more joy-filled, meaningful life coach Tiffany Peterson is joining me. We always love when Tiffany brings her inspiration and her words. I just hang on. Your every wise word, sister. How are you?
So good to see you.
So we say, great to see you as well. We say design your own life, and people might say, but Tiff, the balls are coming at me, I'm taking swings, I'm missing. Where does our control come into this idea?
It sounds really life coachy, doesn't it?
I like it.
Which
I'm
is
here
how
for it.
appropriate, right? You're like, hey, but truly is just the awareness, to your point, is that we are living in a day and age where there is constant stream of distractions. There's all sorts of things we can't control.
Yes.
But what we do have control over, for sure, is our power of choice and what we choose, how we choose to think, how we choose to interpret the situation. Is this happening for my good? Is this happening against me? Like, what's my foundational belief with that?
Yeah.
How am I going to respond to the situation? And so I think why I love this topic is it's really empowering, because sometimes we can feel so overwhelmed and we get, into all the different feelings and emotions, and we can just feel kind of helpless sometimes.
Yeah.
And coming back home to actually no, you're a powerful creator. What do I choose to decide? What's my decision in this situation? How will I show up? How will I navigate it? I just think it brings us back home to the knowing you really can make choices, and you have many more choices than you may realize.
You're a powerful creator who has more choices than you realize. See, there it is.
Right.
There it is. You also bring the word ownership into this conversation, and I think that word holds power. I think I hear the word ownership, and I sit up a little straighter, and my shoulders go back.
Yeah.
My mom used to say, less sophisticated, I love you, Mom, but I remember as a teenager, she'd often say, the ball's in your court. And that felt very esteeming as a teenager, a dramatic teenager, but it feels equally confidence-inducing now to think, I can make a decision. I do have the power of choice.
For sure. And just when you know that and you have a wise mama, right, is the ball is in your court, where, again, there's this life formula I got exposed to years ago that says this. It's E plus R equals O. And it stands for event plus response equals outcome. And while there's all kinds of events we can't control, or other people's choices, or various things that are happening in the world, we can control and choose our response. And the way we choose to respond to any kind of event, any kind of situation, whether we're interpreting that positive or negative, we shape the outcome. But the concept of ownership is saying, right, I am the captain of my soul, so to speak, right? Like the great Invictus poem. It's like, I'm the master gardener. I get to choose. I get to decide. And I think, again, just knowing that takes you out of victimhood and back into empowerment of, even if I don't like the situation, even if someone did something to me that you couldn't control, how you respond in the situation still is within your realm of influence.
I love that, Tiffany. In that equation you presented, the reaction is a big part of the formula. The reaction affects the outcome. So in addition to realizing we have that kind of power, you want us to be proactive versus reactive.
Yeah. I had the great fortune to work for Stephen Covey and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People way back when in my corporate days before I went on my own. And that's habit number 1, be proactive versus reactive. Again, a lot of that is being on the offense versus, quote, defense. And we're showing up. To me, when I hear the word proactive, love, I just think intention.
Yeah.
Like, what do I want to create in my home? What do I want to create in my work? What do I want to create in my relationships? What do I want to create in my health and wellness? I'm an intentional creator, powerful creator, intentional, where I'm going to choose to decide for myself. Like, who am I going to be? How am I going to show up? What are the habits I'm going to cultivate? That puts us, again, back into a place of empowerment. And then you literally are shaping the outcome of your life because you're deciding versus living in solely reactivity of only reacting to whatever's coming in and, putting up space in your life.
You encourage women to have a strong vision, and you say in moments of insecurity or doubt, or when we fall ourselves slipping into that victimhood you talked about, you can come back to that foundation, that vision, and let that guide you.
Clear vision, and whether we quote the Holy Bible or Tony Robbins, who was in town last week, right? Speaking here with Silicon Slopes.
Great.
And the power of having vision in your life, again, who am I? Where am I going? What am I creating? What are my dreams, goals, desires? If we keep that in front of us when we are in the low times, which we all face, or we have a struggle or we have a challenge, in every day or week, we have stuff coming up. And having a clear vision, I love to say, visit your vision. Because without vision, there's this quote, I don't remember whose it is, found it years ago, that says, without vision, man or woman simply repeats the past. And you just get on autopilot. And it's too easy in life to just be on autopilot and get through the next day and the next thing and the whatever, again, all the stuff coming in versus I'm a visionary seeing where am I leading my life? Where am I leading my home, my relationships, my children, my work, and that I choose that intentionally. Again, but visiting that as an intentional practice will help keep, I think sometimes the gumption and the courage and the hope alive because sometimes this life thing is a whole lot.
It's a lot. I found myself on a call the other day. I was in the mentorship role, which is always an honor, but I was asked, what do you look for in a good producer? We have a team of amazing producers here who are the best in the business. I'm not just saying that. And they asked me, what do you look for in a good producer? And my response was instant. It was vision. You can't, often teach vision, but if they have it, it affects every aspect of their work. And life is a lot like producing, actually. Like, I think that's one of the reasons I love the hum of my home, is because I love to produce a happy hum at home. And I think, likewise, we can produce our day, right? We can get in there and shape our day, but that vision has to be the driving force.
You are just so dang wise.
Well, no, I learned from you, sister.
No, listen, this is what you just said is like mic drop. There we go. This is what we needed to hear. But it's so true because each of our lives, you are like the script writer, the movie producer, the director, edit, cut, add, you're the main star.
Produce it.
Exactly, produce it. Producing, though, is an active word, which requires you to be like tuned in and showing up versus I'll just let and see what happens. It's no, I'm going to produce this day.
Listen, tune in later for our podcast.
Yeah, we're going to go there.
I've learned so much from you, Tiff. Thanks for that compliment. Practice choosing is your last point of advice, and I give pause to practice. We practice choosing.
I just think when it comes back to decision making, right? And sometimes decisions can feel really big and overwhelming to really small, but from everything from like choosing your meal, what you want to eat, to practicing your mindset states. And I'm going to choose to be happy today. I don't know what's coming or in this next hour. I'm going to choose to see the good. I'm going to focus on the good. I'm going to intentionally put good thoughts in my brain about myself and about other people, but I'm going to use my power of choice to frame a more intentional or happier, positive life. We're going to practice, though, because why I say practice is no one is perfectly positive or intentional all the time. We're still figuring it out in this human skin suit earth thing that we're doing, right? And we're learning these lessons, but we practice choosing and practice, therefore, choosing to be more intentional.
Choose your life. Be empowered to set out and design what you want. Tiffany is such a great voice in this topic space. Where can people find more from you?
Instagram is Tiff Peterson, or my website's TiffanySpeaks.com.
Thank you. That was really great. We'll post this conversation on our website, too, if you want to share or revisit.